All right, welcome to JeffCast episode 1. But seriously, folks, so I got this post on the Sleepy Cabin subreddit. This gentleman, Darn Darrow, wanted me to answer a bunch of questions about me. Some are personal, some are not, but I guess I will try to answer the best I can. Question 1. What is the average day in the life of me? Well, when I'm not totally ruining my schedule by sleeping odd hours and forgetting what day of the week it is and what time of the day it is, it's a pretty much the standard, typical schedule a guy in a cubicle would adhere to. It's get up, try to show up at Newgrounds at 9 or 10, leave at 6 or 7, come home, eat, do some more work, might watch a movie, play a game, and then it is rinse and repeat the next day, over and over and over and over for infinity. I've been doing this for a few years now, working on this game with Tom and now more recently Corey. And we've got a ways to go, but I try to get enough sleep. That's important, and just to make sure I have enough energy throughout the day to just keep doing this day in and day out until we're done. All right. Question 2. Oh boy, we're getting into deep subjects now. What do you think about the abstract concept of modern day masculinity? Like, what do you think a man is in today's world? What do you think of modern day men in general? Well, I suppose you have to ask yourself, what is the definition of masculinity to you? Are you looking at it as like the opposite of femininity? Like masculinity is aggressiveness, forwardness, taking charge, and femininity is like the opposite. Is it like that, or do you feel like a big sissy? Is that it? Do you feel like a big Mary? Do you feel like people push you around? Do you feel just a little light in the loafers, as they used to say? Well, look, this is a tough question to answer because I don't know. In this day and age, it seems like men are under assault, and God forbid you act in the classic definition of manliness, and you're practically gonna be called mentally ill by people. I don't know what the deal is. Seems like everything today is women are being pushed to act more like women, and men are being pushed to act more like women. And I don't know. Again, it goes back to the definition of what you expect masculinity to be. I'm assuming in your head you want to be more take charge, confident. You want to be able to stare another man in the fucking eyes and intimidate him. That's what I'm thinking you're thinking, right? You want to just stare at somebody and scare them with your manliness. That's what I'm assuming you want to do. I don't even know if I'm the best guy to be the poster child for manliness in America, but, the way I grew up, my dad was in the Marine Corps Reserves. He sort of raised me a little bit like I was in the Marines, like I'm a fucking little kid and he's the drill sergeant. I think his main goal in life was to make sure I wasn't acting like a huge pussy, which, it's not the best. It might not be the best version of parenting out there, but it is what it is. When I had a fit, he'd tell me to go, he'd put an axe in my hand and go tell me to chop down trees for firewood in the woods behind our house, or I don't know, he'd just make me do fucking, he forced me to go fishing, and he bought me a fucking compound bow and arrow as a kid. Taught me how to use that. Thankfully, he didn't make me go fucking hunting, because I don't like shooting animals. I don't like killing animals. That's not a... I only killed one animal in my life. That was, I think it was one. I was a woodpecker terrorizing my parents' house, but that's a whole story for another day. That bird unfortunately had to go because he was destroying a fucking house and punching holes in everything. So I didn't know how else. We tried wrapping paper around areas of the house to discourage him, but this bird was committed. So I had to put a little BB between his little tiny bird eyes. And that's the story of that guy. Anyways, next. What are these other questions? Look, just first off, you know how you started this email with, so my girlfriend this and my girlfriend that, and my girlfriend told me to write a letter. Look, you don't even want to say that to people. You don't even want to ever tell people, well, my girlfriend thought I should talk to you, or my girlfriend thought I should do... Just be like, look, this is what I wanted to do, because I'm a man, and that's what I wanted. All right? Look, I think the best way to look at it, if you want to be confident in this world, this is kind of a fucked up advice, but just kind of have a little bit of disdain for everybody and everything. Just look at everything in life with like 10% hate in your eyes. And that way you're not worried about what people are thinking of you. You're too focused on not liking them. Does that make sense? Good. Next, what, I don't even know what these other questions are. Does he eat steak? Yes, I fucking love steak. Do I pay the bills? I pay the bills like a man. Am I strong? Am I working on it? Do I know how to fight? I'll say this. I've been in a few fights in my childhood. I never started the fight, but I was always... now that I come to think of it, I was always the one to take this first swing at the other person. I don't know what that says about me, but I guess I just don't like being fucked with. If people fuck with me, I take a swing at them. I don't know. I've avoided fights for the last few decades of my life, so I don't like fighting. I don't want to fight, but I'll do what I have to do. These questions I don't know if these other questions are related to art and animation. But, and I'll skip the rest of that. I'll go on to number 3 here. What do you think of bronies? I've met bronies. They're nice people. Kind, gentle people. I don't really understand it. I don't think bronies are hurting anyone or bothering anyone. They're just... I honestly find it fascinating. I find it a little creepy, but fascinating. I don't know why it always has to be some furry, like dog-like animal you want to dress up as, but hey, I don't know. I don't get it. But I've resigned myself to thinking they're just doing what they want to do, and they're not really hurting anybody. They're just what they're into. So, hey, it is what it is. Number 4. Sorry, I'm chewing gum. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm chewing gum, but I'm not gonna stop because goddamn, I just really want to chew a piece of gum right now. All right, number 4. What do you think of the concept of the modern day autistic man-child? You could make the same argument like what I said with brownies, that they're just doing their own thing and not hurting anybody. But, there is this behavior that's detrimental to, I think, development in life. It's not even necessarily being, when somebody's like, well, somebody says, act like an adult. It's not even really, it's kind of like that, but when you I use the word autistic a lot when I probably shouldn't. What I usually mean is it's just like this obsessive behavior. A lot of it is whenever I see somebody obsessed with weird shit, like, you know, if you're obsessed with like Let's Players or Sonic the Hedgehog or things like that, I call you autistic, and it's probably really unfair, but I just think people have to snap out of it a little bit. And, I empathize, I sympathize, because, I feel like growing up I was a little on the spectrum maybe, but, I'm forcing myself off of it because it does you no favors in life. People people are repelled by this behavior. So it's as much as you can force it down and pretend it's not there, the better off you'll be. Whatever you do, if you have a fucking problem, go talk to another human being about it. Never, ever, ever try getting answers on a message board or some other bullshit, or obsess about people. Don't obsess about people that you don't know in real life from the internet. Like, they're your friends. You don't really know them. You never met them in real life, but you talk about them like they're your fucking family members. Don't do that. That's a little messed up. All right. Next I don't know. Hey, I don't know anything. It's weird. It's fucking weird. Next question, number 5. Do you think you'll ever get married, have kids, make your own business? Like a gaming business? I don't think I will ever get married because I have this problem where maybe there's something wrong with my brain, but I kind of like being left alone. I kind of can't really deal with people around me too often. I like when I'm at work or hanging out with friends, there's like this timer that starts ticking down in my head, and I need like my fucking alone time. And I need silence, and I mean, no matter how perfect a wife could be, or perfect how fucking perfect kids could be, I think it would drive me fucking nuts. It would drive me fucking nuts. And I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to kill my family. So for now, I am just of the mindset that I am not going to get married. So next, and if I run my own business, that's a whole other thing. Right now, until I get this game done, I don't even want to think about all that other stuff. I want this game I'm doing to be successful, and then if it is, then I'm going to worry about the rest of that. I do have a bunch of ideas for things I'd like to do, but I'll get into that later. Number 6, your dad was an interesting guy. Outrunning cops in his Corvette and all. What did you learn from your father regarding masculinity and how to be a man? I guess I covered this a little bit earlier, but he's always been Mr. Man's man. He's a good guy, good father. He could say he was a little hard on me sometimes, a little harder than I thought he should have been. But I don't know. I guess maybe that was the way he was raised. It was this crying is for girls mentality that you could call it. It's that type of thing where it's maybe it's unhealthy forcing your emotions down into a pit of nothingness and always having this unemotional stoic front on you at all times. But I don't know, maybe it's a problem I have with myself, but that's just kind of how I grew up. And he always taught me things. He's like, here's how to son, come down to the basement. I'm gonna show you how to fix the washing machine. Here's how you fix the hot water heater. Here, all these like classically manly life skills that men are usually the ones doing. He taught me all that. Fixing a goddamn sink, again, shooting. He did tell me how to shoot guns. He showed me how to shoot rifles, how to shoot bow and arrows. He taught me how to fish. I mean, if there was an apocalypse, I probably could take care of myself, I think. Always had me outside busting my ass in the heat doing some kind of fucking yard work. I don't know what. But he was really good at scaring the shit out of you, I think. Even though he was a good guy. I don't know. That's kind of just how I was raised. It's not like I don't know how I come off on the podcast. I don't know. I don't know how people perceive my personality on the podcast. If they see me as acting manly or not manly, but I'm just a goddamn product of my environment. And that's what I am. It's really the only best way I can answer it. Question 8. No, wait. Question 7. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you plan to do with the future? Well, currently, once I get this game done, I don't know. Again, I have a few ideas. I either make another game, try pitching, more of like an animated thing to different properties, or I guess I'll know when I come to that. I have a few. I've actually been trying to write one or two books as well, which I've gotten sort of far in, but just a matter of finding the fucking time to finish them. Takes forever. It takes for fucking ever to do anything. That's why I'm so burnt out all the time. I'm never really. All these artists are always posting art on Twitter and everywhere, and I get home at night, I'm too burnt out to just work on something that's not related to one of these other enormous fucking projects I've been working on forever. I feel so guilt-ridden not working on them. I either work on them or not do anything at all. It's very rare I work on things that are completely unrelated. Number 8. Would you ever consider making a vlog on YouTube? Maybe a steak reviewing vlog and show your face and everything. I'm really I'm not comfortable being like an internet personality. You could say this is why I sort of got talked into this podcast. I've always just sort of stayed behind the scenes. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've always been working on things. Sort of, I'm like, I like making animation. I'll put it out there. I've never really wanted myself to be the entertainment. How Let's Players sell themselves, it's like their personality is the product. I never really wanted that. I always thought that sort of thing was a little too boring. Just a little almost too much of what everybody else is doing. You have a billion fuckers out there with a vlog. I'm like, I'd rather just challenge myself doing something I'm already kind of good at, I think. I years and years spending my time getting better at art and animation, and that's kind of just what I want to stick with. I don't want to be this celebrity personality. I don't know. That's just me. I know people have already given me shit about this. They're like, why don't you want to be on video? We're gonna film something. Why don't you act in it? You think you'd be a good actor? Why don't you come in and act? And I'm not comfortable doing it. I don't really care. I'm not really comfortable with people even recognizing me somewhere and coming up and being like, oh, it's you. It's you from that video. I'm like, yeah, it's not what I am. I don't know. It's not my personality type. Question 9. Have you ever been homeless or faced serious struggles in your life due to poverty? No, I've never been quite dirt poor at all. No, I've been lucky in that regard. My family was not rich, but they made enough to get by. And I did have probably some panic attacks when after college when I realized I never really formed a game plan in college of what I wanted to do besides just this very vague notion of art. Uh, and I was working a few jobs at the summer after college. One was painting school classrooms with a friend of mine who also was trying to find a job, and that lasted a few months, and then that ended, and then I was started trying to find a real job. I mean, I was looking through newspaper classifieds. That's when this whole that knife, that Cutco or story came up in the other podcast, that one of the lost episodes. I was so panicked. I was so panicked to just get a job and have enough money to live off of. And then my car, I had like antifreeze coming out the tailpipe of my car. However the fuck that is possible. And I was like broke down. I'm just like, oh my fucking god, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not really good. I got like C's in my graphic design classes. I spent all my time in illustration classes, and that I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? I really was. My head was in the fucking clouds all through college. I didn't think about any of this. I eventually started begging to work at an animation studio. And I ended up working there for free at first, which typically I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I was so desperate. We just came to the understanding that if I was good enough after a few weeks of doing that, they would actually hire me, and they did. And then, I went on to being an artist in this animated show they were working on, to sort of pretty much the lead art director, you could say. And that pretty much led to where I am now. But no, I've never been homeless or anything like that. Have you ever been in a full-on fist fight, bar fight, etc.? And I guess I did cover that. People pick on me, and I swing a fist at them, and let's just say I have hit people way more than they've hit me back. But again, I haven't been in a fight in a long, long time. It is not something I'm proud of. I've never started a fight. There's a few fights I probably narrowly avoided, mostly from drunk people. Some people, this is a whole other conversation, but when people drink, there are a few different categories they quickly slide into. There's the silly, funny drunk, the obnoxious drunk, the loud drunk, then there's like the aggressive drunk. They get really angry. I don't know. It's like this anger inside them just comes out where they're just trying to start shit with everybody around them. And there's been a few of those that I'm like back down, because I knew I was gonna level this dude if he tried hitting me, but I was able to diffuse the situation. Number 11, what do you feel has been your greatest accomplishment in your life? I feel like I've had a bunch of mini accomplishments. I mean, I felt proud of the work I did on that TV show at the time. And a bunch of the animation I've made, and a lot of the other little games I've made, and I'm hoping the game I'm working on now is a bigger accomplishment, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. What do you feel is your greatest failure? I don't know. It's kind of one of those questions where it's, you start second guessing yourself. What could you have done in certain situations? What couldn't you have done? I feel like I just feel like my greatest frustration is just lacking motivation sometimes to finish things. Like these 2 books I'm trying to write. They probably could have been fucking done by now if I wasn't wasting time at night, whether just sitting around and watching a movie or we all need breaks, but it's still, I wish I had some switch in my head I could turn on to just be like, just put me in work mode all the time. So just my greatest failure, I feel like, is not accomplishing enough of what I feel like I should have accomplished by now. But the same time, you know, I'm more fortunate than a lot of people. I've accomplished more than a lot of people, but you know, I don't know. I feel like it's not good enough, but still working at it. That's why I started working on some bigger projects, because I want some things to have a bigger impact, not just a bunch of little things. I'm tired of just doing little things. What do you think the greatest challenges in your life are? It's sort of time management. Trying to keep yourself in order, trying to decide what you put your time into, because I'm one of those people where, you know, I value, at this point in my life, I value time way more than money. So deciding if I'm going to spend a month or a year on something is a big fucking deal. So I want to make sure I'm working on the right thing. You know, I could think one night, I'm like, oh, I watched this movie. I can animate a movie parody, but it might take a month. And I just say to myself, fuck that. It'll take too much time. Too much time. I'd rather finish all the other things I'm working on first. Do you feel optimistic about the future? Yeah, I think so. Things I'm working on, I have a good feeling about, and just want to hopefully just stick with it. Whether as a combination of believing in it and just being stubborn, I just want to get these things done, and then we'll take it from there. But you know, I think the key is to always just challenge yourself. Don't take the easy route. You really want to. I feel like you almost feel this adrenaline rush from almost pushing yourself to the fucking cliff, like the edge of the cliff of failing. You want to put yourself there. You want to set a goal for yourself which is just within a fucking hair's width of succeeding. That's why, you know, I'll bitch about Let's Players and all these other people, because at the end of the day, it's bullshit. You know, recording yourself, playing games, things like that in life, it's bullshit. It's not hard. I know people are gonna be, oh, you know, they work really hard and they work really long hours editing their videos, and yeah, it's long hours, but it's not hard. You get it? You get what I'm saying? It's just busy work. It's 80 hours of easy busy work. And I'm sure you could be really tired, you know, editing your memeing face, doing whatever, playing whatever Nintendo game you're playing. But it's not going to keep you up at night with stress over how difficult it is. And I think that's what you need to do to feel alive. You get it? Good. All right. Well, I don't know if I answered the questions to the best of my ability. I just sort of ran through them. If you think any of my answers sucked, let me know. But with that said, thank you for listening to the JeffCast Q&A Spectacular, and good night. Thank you.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.